What's good, YouTube? And welcome to A Kiza Coin to the Moon! Jokes aside, the price of silver is up. These were clearanced at around $42 to $36 depending on the one. I think only the game Flip Coin went all the way down to $36, but I ended up collecting these and featuring them. And checkmate, merch haters, this is actual markets and money in precious metals. But Akiza herself is selling up like crazy. $90, $100. I think those are the listings currently too for her, while the rest of them are going for like 50, 60, 75 for the most part. It was not the most popular collab that they've done over here, but they have done Yu-Gi-Oh! Like 3 different times at this point, so something's going for it. Let's talk about DOOD. This is going up in price even faster. I think the YCS is doing the heaviest lifting, but GENESYS is really pushing up that lower end, making it a lot more appealing to actually chase after cards and know that you might get some rebates back when going in the sealed. That format making it feel so much more rewarding has really shaken things up even at the top end, like Garden Rose Maiden, and then Marshmallow Yummy is, for the secret rare, still above $60 and quickly goes towards $67. I think it's impressive for an archetype card to end up like this in the year 2025 compared to something like a staple. Usually we don't see this in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Like the Malice. It ended up starting up here and fell out super quick, and so people tend not to repeat that as often within close sets, yet this is pushing the metagame. And the Starlight rare, oh my gosh, is up above 200 again towards 220 with a sale in that range, but not too many over 200. And the same kind of goes for the sealed here being up. We covered it at $48 on the last watch. Most of the sales are still even under that, around $44 to $45. Yet we see a couple boxes moving now in the $50 range. It'll be interesting to watch how it goes up and down, and how GENESYS continues to impact a set like this, depending on how that metagame actually turns out. But it is, like I said, pushing up that lower end. We already covered the secret rare of Radiant Typhoon, but this has gone up even further towards $50 for Crocy. And then we also see Chant for Radiant Typhoon going up and getting bought out around $40. And then for the Doom stuff, we see that Jupiter, the power patron of destruction, has actually spiked up in price. The Doom Z is like able to play this, and this was kind of getting ignored versus them to some degree, and now it's up towards $30, $35 when it had been selling for a good chunk less, around $20. So this kind of breath of life into the lower end of sets and getting people excited to try different things out is really going well past what I thought. So I can admit I was wrong. I was saying GENESYS won't do all that much. It's still the main meta NYCS pushing upward, but that added bolster to this has turned the set from a horrible loss to a more negligible but still a loss for anybody selling online at this point that was able to hold on till this point, because again, the vendors are paying minimum like around $56-ish for their boxes, and there's platform fees and shipping, but this is way better than the abysmal looks in the 30s on a set during its opening weeks. Now, we also do have Justice Hunters floundering versus that price I was talking about, and it just feels like the demand's not there for the top decks. You do have a lot of chance for an emergency ban list right now, which might change the perception, but I would love to see sets like this be successful where the main meta deck is so cheap and easy for people to grab and get, but maybe the demand's just not there. Now, it is Cupsy Yummy that has managed to stay atop the archetype completely, almost double the price of the others, so it's not that happy friendship we're all the same price circle anymore, but you're looking at collector rares being the prices where the ultras were trying to hang on before. And what's really sad about this box is there's only 2 cards right now that go for the value above the box and their mega chase high rarity pulls. There's not the confidence in collector rare anymore. People think a rarity collection is going to come out, things will get re-collector rared, or just a Starlight's going to come out next year in the tens for these cards, so why bother with collectors unless they're very cheap? And yeah, we're seeing a lot of the cards not able to maintain that value. And it's the Starlights doing a little better since we're not seeing rewaves of Starlight and QCR is over. For now, we'll see about the 30th and what they might do rarity-wise then. But that's a ways off. So Starlights do a little bit better, right? But like the collector rare Izuna was almost double this price not too long ago. And there's meta happenings to make that fall out to some degree, but it just speaks to the set that it can't get a foothold when it's that meta warping, when it's that changing, and its main support that updates the deck is now what's able to really push a price. Magistus, I always want to say Chorizo is up in price and seeing expected play like for the future as well with the Magistus Draco Tail, and I think it's just a good general card to have. It could even be played in Genesis because you use a Fusion Synchro or Xyz as well if you don't want to use a Link monster and the Spellcaster monster. Amelia Dance Princess of Nekroz is going up in price for Genesis format. People are staring at Nekroz within there, and I get being able to play some of your favorite archetypes and decks will cause a bit of a stampede when somebody starts shouting it out or showing off a little something with it. So that's going to be a trend, I think, where we just see over and over that kind of stuff happening. For the Edison heads, Wolf has some weird sales. It's around $5 very consistently to $4. Yeah, there's tons of listings here, but you gotta, I guess, buy other stuff from these people, and mix and matching like that isn't always worth, so it ends up in this weird situation where, yeah, I'll just go ahead and pay the extra and not try to compile a card. But yeah, Wolf, the ultra rare, is selling really well for itself at this moment. Number 23 was being looked at by my Discord for that alternate format. It helps make stuff like Zeus relatively easy, and it only has 2 printings. I did find this one interesting because Lancelot is a decent card. It's found its way into metagames before, so it does make sense that people are looking for cards like this for Genesis, but again, there can be this market overreaction to that where how many people are really going to be playing this? Will it be that good? This ends up being one of those cards I would want to have access to, though. And then finally, assault mode stuff is popping off, and we covered this not too long ago for Edison. It's getting new support. People are speculating how good it'll be, what format for, and the Secret Rare Stardust Dragon assault mode was already way up. I think Fraser's done some features on it, and you can see it's actually trailed quote-unquote down there, but yet when you come over and look at the sales for near mints, they already were hot, and now it's going even crazier at this point. There's low listings on Arcane Apprentice, which we also had talked about lately, and that's going to be a hard card to get. I think it only has its 1 printing, and then Arcanite Magician assault mode is up there as well. There are some, let's say, pictures out there of OTS 29 stuff on the internet if you're looking for something interesting to find today that I can't put on screen for you. So additional stuff that's been actually pretty good for the metagame and choices overall in that selection of supers and commons. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy these conversations. And sometimes it's not merch, it's money with Yu-Gi-Oh!